Thomas Greiss gets his first road win since February 17th. And Sam Gagner gets his 500th career point today. Locked On Red Wings.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are your hosts, Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. Scotty also hosts over at Locked On Tigers. T-1 day, Scotty, until you are back in season.
I can't wait, baby. I cannot wait. I'll be there Friday too. It's gonna be a fun time.
I'm still waiting for my invite to come in the mail. I don't know what's going on. I know the USPS.
If you want it, we can talk after if you want it.
No, but the Pistons have their home finale that day, so you know where I'll be.
Well, then I don't know why you're complaining to me.
I just want to give you crap. I love you, Scotty. Red Wings, dude. Back-to-back wins on back-to-back nights. We were so excited over the Boston win prior last night. We forgot to preview this game altogether. We finished, we were like, crap, we forgot to talk about Winnipeg. Well, Winnipeg came, Winnipeg went, and the Red Wings snuck away with a 3-1 win. And unlike the game against Boston, where Boston pretty much dominated the entire game, had 50 shots on net, but the Red Wings, Nedeljkovic stood on his head, and they were able to capitalize on their chances. This was actually a very even game. Probably the most even game we've seen in quite a while out of the Red Wings and, well, I don't know about the Jets, but out of the Red Wings at the very least. They got dominated in the first period, and then second and third period, they kind of swayed momentum back, had a very nice third period to finish things off. It was just a really solid Red Wings game, and I've said it time and time again, Scotty, I think we're just at this point in the season now where you get a win, you're not going to complain about it. You enjoy it when it comes, and it was a good game tonight.
Yeah, we've had this conversation plenty of times. I'm totally down with winning as much as possible from here on out. Don't need the tank for an extra percent or 1.5% or whatever in the lotto. I'm good. I'm good with winning at this point in the rebuild. And I think going into the final stretch of the season and getting 2 wins against 2 teams fighting for playoff spots and or position is something to hang your hat on. And I think that's very beneficial to the players, and I'm pretty pumped about it.
Well, and I'm pretty sure somebody on this podcast a couple days ago said that, the Red Wings tend to, play close with better teams, and then they snuck 2 wins against playoff caliber teams. I don't know who it was. It was one of us. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, it was you. It was Scotty.
No, well, if you don't remember, I'll take credit.
But in all seriousness, though, Thomas Greiss had his first road win since that phenomenal Rangers game back in February 17th.
When he played his kids.
When he played his kids. And it was just good to see. I don't really have much insight on Thomas Greiss at this point. I mean, he's going to play the rest of his contract out here this last few weeks of the season, and then he's probably going to be a UFA. I don't really see a need to re-sign him as backup. I think there's going to be better backups on the market, but for what it's worth, he had a hell of a game today. And, he faced 12 all strengths considered, 12 high danger shot attempts. I think that's a higher percentage-wise than what Nedeljkovic faced last night, 2 nights ago, by the time you're listening to this, against the Bruins. And he came up big, and he had a great game all the way around, and it's just nice to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was fantastic, obviously, right? I mean, in a season and I guess a month and a half, 2 month stretch in which we've consistently given up 5+, to have your backup go out there and put up hang a one piece is pretty damn nice. It's pretty refreshing. So he obviously deserves a ton of credit. I agree with you. I don't think he's part of a long-term plan any longer than game 82 this year. I totally understood bringing him back last year. I think that was the correct move.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, why not?
I think bringing him back last year was smart. But yeah, I think the course is probably his tenure here has probably run its course. But regardless, tonight he was fantastic. Last night, as you're listening to this, he was fantastic, and he deserves a ton of credit. And I think the defense was slightly better too, which certainly helps a little bit, but it definitely wasn't good enough to be like, oh, well, anybody could have been in that. Like he, still had a great game. Thomas Greiss was fantastic tonight.
Well, and for what it's worth, too, I mean, this is a one of those weird games where, Sider actually didn't look that strong in front of him either. I mean, if you look at Hockey Stat Card, Sider had the second to worst impact in this game at over -1 goal impact in this game when you combine his offense and his defense, to Kaiser being the only one who is worse than Moritz Seider in this game. So it's a weird game where, like, the guy you've been depending on all season didn't really have a positive impact for once. And obviously, he's human. Seider's human. He's not going to have a great game every single game. He's been great all season. I'm not trying to rag on him. But what I'm saying is, despite the fact that Moritz Seider and, of course, Danny DeKaiser had, lackluster games, Greiss was able to stand tall. He still made 32 saves. He was great.
How many games do you think Thomas Greiss plays the remainder of the season?
Was there like 12 games left, 11 games left? I don't really know off the top of my head.
It's just over 10. Yeah.
It would really depend. I mean, I assume he'll get 1 or 2 in there, maybe 3. I'd have to look at their schedule here. Give me 1 second. But
I guess like back-to-backs matter for
yeah,
sure.
that's why I was going to say, because if there's back-to-backs, then that's going to have a huge impact on how many starts he gets, because he's healthy again. So yeah, go ahead and throw him out there for back-to-backs. You're not fighting for anything. So you
don't need to
Saturday
overwork Ned, but at the same time, like, I would be totally fine if Ned just played the season out.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna have quite a week near the end of the season. That's actually, he might actually get quite a few starts, because there's gonna be a game. There's a game the 12th, 2 days later, 14th, 2 days later, 16th, then 17th, and 2 days later, 19th. Yeah, so it's like every other day to finish the season, starting on the 12th. So he's going to get probably, I wouldn't say, maybe like a quarter of those starts.
I mean,
I'd
you
say
could
maybe
just
a third.
You could just throw a Greiss started in the middle of that and just call it a day in my eyes.
Yeah, but like you said, I don't want to overwork and overtax Alex Nedeljkovic. And at this point in the season, you're not really playing for anything.
The season's about to end.
Yeah,
but overwork him for the off season.
What, do you want to risk injury to your starter goaltender?
No, obviously I don't want to hurt him. But I mean, what are we? We're not overworking for like, oh well, he's going to get really tired for the remainder of the season. And by that point, there's 4 games left. Like,
I am okay with mitigating his workload, because there's not really a point to. You're kind of getting to this point. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a tank mentality. I mean, the Pistons are doing it right now where they're benching a bunch of players. But, why put your better option out there when you're not going to make the playoffs? So you can put Greiss out there, possibly have a frustrating game, but have a better opportunity to win, while also keeping Nedeljkovic healthy for next season. Don't risk that
obviously
injury.
I don't want to risk an injury. Obviously, nobody wants that.
I agree with you, but I also disagree with you in a certain respect. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Kind of like on the fence there.
I feel like that's most people's motto with whenever I speak. So.
But yeah, he had a good game. That's about.
He did. He did. He did look really good. He looked like he was playing the Rangers tonight.
Yeah, he did. 30. What did I say? 32 saves. He was very good. Chris Kulo got his second career assist. I want to throw a little his name out there.
Kulo, baby.
A little credit, because he doesn't get a lot of calls up to the National Hockey League. So it's nice to see that he got an apple on one of those goals. I think it was the Michael Rasmussen goal, who we'll talk about in the second segment. He's been on a bit of a heater.
A heater for Ross.
Good. But first, I got to talk to you guys today about BetOnline.net. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, including this week's Master Championship. Odds, podcasts, and reviews for all the different leagues this season. Does Tiger make the cut, Scotty?
The cut for the Masters or the cut for Sunday? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He's a Tiger. Yeah. Okay. We don't doubt Tiger here.
Fair. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. Head to the website today to use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline. Where the game starts. Let's talk about Michael Rasmussen now, Scotty.
Hey, man, you forgot to do the thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to throw the thing up.
It's
See,
all
it's
right.
been
It's
one
not.
day.
It's not as big of a thing with BetOnline. I feel like, but
Everyone knows BetOnline. BetOnline's great. Everyone knows them at this point.
yeah, everybody knows BetOnline.
Um,
We've been doing a lot of BetOnline stuff over at Tigers. Like they're releasing all their season odds and stuff.
yeah. What is
They've
this?
been
I
hooking us
heard.
up.
I don't want to derail the conversation, but I saw something on Twitter today saying the Tigers would come second to last. Like that's projected from Fangraphs or something. Like 73 wins.
Yeah,
What's with the?
Fangraphs has a formula that they do. It's called Zips. I think it's absolute garbage. For individual players and for teams, I've always thought that it's garbage. But yeah, they have the Tigers at 73 and
Which
89.
isn't that a regression from last year?
That would be getting 4 wins worse. That would be 4 games worse after adding Erod, Baez, Barnhart, Meadows, Torkelson, and Green.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That
No,
makes
it
zero
doesn't.
sense.
It doesn't. So
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy because
yeah.
you're the baseball guy here.
No, Zips. Fangraphs great. Zips horrid.
So Michael Rasmussen, Scotty, in his
Not
last
horrid. Michael
5
Rasmussen.
games has 4 goals. He's on a little bit of a heater here. He's got 23 points, which is a career high for him in his 69 games played, 12 goals, 11 assists. He's a bottom 6 forward, so point production isn't what you are going to expect to see from him. But it's not really the topic of the conversation. It more or less just brought him up. He's on this little bit of a heater. He's on a bit of a goal scoring streak, which is nice to see from a bottom 6 forward, primarily used for penalty killing. But is this watching him is this his confidence slowly building to the point where he can become a piece of the future? And I saw this on Twitter too, and it brings up a good point because Michael Rasmussen, he's got such a large frame, and he is a smart defensive forward. But for a long time, it just felt like something wasn't clicking for him. And for a 9th overall pick, you'd expect something almost more than that. It feels as if a lot of the fan base had almost given up or is overlooking Michael Rasmussen, but he is young enough and with enough size. And I'm not saying he's a skilled player, but enough skill in his arsenal, given what he is, that he can be an effective bottom 6 forward on a contending Red Wings team, I feel. And now we're seeing the way he is last 5 games. And again, he's hot right now, and I understand he'll cool off. But we have seen in the last few games that he has this ability to play both defensively very strong and produce a little bit of offense. Is this the beginning of Michael Rasmussen's renaissance?
The Rasmussen Renaissance goes hard as a name. I just want to start off with that. I think that's objectively
Hashtag Rasmussen Renaissance.
yeah, like that's like really cold. Like I really like that a lot. That should be like there should be somebody's Twitter name should be at at Rasmussen Renaissance season. But yeah, I just like that's such a sick name.
That's what I'm here
That being
for.
said, I'm not gonna put any stock into Rasmussen anymore. I think anything we get out of him is a plus, and we would be like, okay, cool. Like that's extra credit on a test. Like cool, that's cherry on top. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna study for it. Like I'm not it's not the material I'm studying for. Like I'm gonna focus on the actual core. And if we get anything out of him, that's fantastic. And if he can be a 4C for a contending team, beautiful. That would help us a ton. But I'm not gonna hang my hat on it or predict that it's gonna be the future or assume is what I'm trying to think. The word that I was trying to think of. I'm not gonna assume that he is going to become that either. And anything is something, I guess, from here on out with him. And he has the size to be a bottom line center to kind of bang around a little bit, play some decent defense. He's got a good shot for how big he is. Like there is, he was a first round pick. Like he has the intangibles to be something, but I'm not gonna like when I'm drawing up a game plan or a blueprint of the future of this team. I'm not etching in Rasmussen as part of like the core or, the 4C going forward or anything like that either.
I don't know. He's young enough that I look with optimism, and that might be just like the Red Wings fan bias in me. I internally kind of constantly root for Rasmussen to figure it out and find his core on this team, find his piece on this team where he'll fit in. And I do see a future going forward, a path for him where he is a consistent fourth line center.
Yeah.
I remember when he got drafted, a lot of people were scratching their heads like, why would you take this big guy? He's not really known for his hands or his speed at 9th overall. And a lot of the reasoning Ken Holland used at the time, because it was a Ken Holland pick, was like, he's a big guy you can use on the power play down low. He was basically trying to replace Thomas Holmstrom. And you saw that this is his third season with the Red Wings. And his power play time in his first season was the most it's been his entire career, which has a huge effect on your possession metrics when you get a lot of power play time versus penalty kill time. But in his first 2 seasons, Michael Rasmussen, in all strengths considered, was a positive possession metrics guy. He had expected goals for percentage in 2018-2019 of 51.77. In 2020-2021, he had a 50.42. And that's with 62 games played and 40 games played. And in both those seasons, he got significant power play time. This season, his power play time has shrunk and his penalty kill time has grown. It's almost like they're trying to utilize his defensive capabilities and his size in a more defensive role, but his expected goals for percentage has dropped drastically. And part of that is just in general, he's having a down year. You can't deny that. Despite having more point production, when it comes to on-ice puck possession, whenever he's on the ice, the team isn't doing nearly as much. This year, he's got a 42.8. That's an 8% drop to scoring attempts, quality shooting attempts. I'll get it right one of these times. Quality shooting attempts when he is on the ice. A 42. So when he is on the ice, Red Wings only produce 42% of the quality shot attempts between the two teams. Whereas in the past, it's been over 50%. Just by a hair, but over 50%. He's been struggling to help contribute to scoring attempts. Now he's gotten, again, he has a new season high in point totals this season, but that doesn't necessarily reflect what the intangibles he is doing to help contribute to scoring chances for the rest of his teammates.
Do you think anything for his future or for his production currently, anything has to do with the difference between him playing at center versus wing? Or do you think it's all kind of mute?
I mean, I think
the team would benefit a lot more if he was a center. Center depth is obviously a huge need, and we have wingers pouring out of places we don't want them. So, obviously it would be more beneficial if he could be, a 4C going forward.
He just doesn't really... His hands aren't horrible. For 4C, he's got decent hands. It's just his speed. And a lot of big guys struggle with this. And it was a problem when they drafted him. They brought it up at that time.
Which is why people were confused that he was a top 10 pick. Yes.
Because for a center, he's not very agile. If he could up his agility, which it looks like he's been working on, and you can see he's a little bit more agile. It's probably why part of the reason
he
why
has some games. I mean, there's been some moments within games where everybody's like, whoa.
Yeah. What's going on?
Where did that come from? It's just not consistent at all.
Well, and I remember last year, too, when Larkin got hurt, he actually got reps at 1C because the team was so down and out on centers. They had no center depth. That Rasmussen was your
not
first
as bad as
center.
last year. Least we forget, yeah.
And despite getting first center minutes, he still had an expected goals for percentage of 50 last season. And a team that was markedly worse.
Yes.
So he has the potential to be a solid center. Again, a bottom 6 center on a contending team. But that's where you want a guy of his size, of his caliber. That, even if that's just his ceiling, with how he's playing now, you're seeing that upside. You're seeing that this is the Michael Rasmussen that Ken Holland saw when he drafted him 9th overall, which is kind of sad that he drafted him 9th overall.
I don't know if anybody sees that version, but yeah, sure.
True. That's a fair comment to make.
No, but I didn't mean to attack you. I was going after Ken.
No, you're right.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying, though.
It's just like, I guess at the end of this monologue, I'm just saying Michael Rasmussen's been really good lately. And this is the level. I mean, I don't expect him to score 4 out of every 5 games the rest of his career. But this amount of production off the puck and on the puck that we've seen from him these last few games, last couple of weeks, this is the Michael Rasmussen we need in the bottom 6 if this team's going to contend.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
On that note, let's transition here. I want to pull up the hockey stat card to just show how effective he was in this game. Because he was real damn good.
Most effective player on the team?
Most effective player on the team. And I think he was the only player in tonight's game that had 100% positive impact. He contributed to almost 2 goals for in this game.
Yeah, he doesn't have any part of the game in the negative.
Yeah, his total impact in this game was 1.93 goals for. That's how good he was.
Is Gagner 2?
No, Gagner is not 2. Gagner is 4th on the list. He's right here.
Oh, okay.
Huge individual impact, which is why
Gagner
he's so high.
is the second highest individual, but the 4th highest overall.
Yeah, he actually contributed negatively, offensively and defensively, but 2 goals for, one of them being a shorthanded, will kind of pump your stats up there individually.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's one of the things I like about this hockey stat card thing too, that it separates the individual impact from the offensive and defensive impact. Like if you scored a goal, that's considered individual. Doesn't mean you helped offensively. It means that you had a good individual impact because he had a shorthanded goal thanks to a great individual effort from Dylan Larkin. And then he had the empty net goal. So that's why Sam Gagner is so high. But Rasmussen, man, he had a great game.
Yeah, Ras did, man. And look, like, I mean, we talk so much about the impact defensively of these guys and the forwards, holding their weight and pushing their weight defensively as well, because we rightfully give a lot of heat to the defense. I mean, being any positive, anything above 0 defensively for anybody on this team is a win at this point.
Yeah. So let's see if I can actually zoom in on this so that it's easier to see for the viewer at home.
That is significantly better.
That's what I'm here for. Just occurred to me. Big brain moment. Yeah. So Sam Gagner, of course, got his 50th career point on that shorthanded goal from Dylan Larkin. But yeah, it's great for Gagner, and I love Gagner as one of those veteran leaders in the locker room. Great depth center / winger wherever you need him. Just great Band-Aid player for a rebuilding team. Great locker room leadership. The intangibles people
guy.
love.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him.
He's the offense's version of Mark Stahl, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. Good for him on the 500th career point.
Yeah, man.
501st.
Good on him. Big up.
As you saw at the hockey stat card, he didn't really contribute on the game that much, despite scoring 2 goals. But Dylan Larkin, that's the real dog.
That is the dog.
2 more assists in this game. I think that brings his career or his season total. Oh boy, let me see if I can get back. So Dylan Larkin is a hockey player, and so far, it lists him as 67 points in 66 games. I don't think that's correct, Scotty, because I don't think it's updated. So I believe he is at 68 points in 67 games. 69 points in 67 games, rather. He had another great game. 69 points.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Dylan Larkin just continues to impress. We talked about it last night, but, even when he wasn't on a heater, he's still an effective player. He's been an effective player all season long, even though he was hot most of the season, kind of cooled off lately. Seems like he's getting back on a little bit of a heater, accruing points left and right. I just can't say enough good things about D-Boss, man. Dylan Larkin. I just love the man.
It's the dog. No, I mean, like, look, man, we talked about it earlier this week, yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't really remember. But we talked about the fact that him having the season that he is having is significant for this team and might be one of the most important things for the Wings going forward. So it's awesome to see him do it. And if he can go on a little bit of a heater and get, whatever, go a 1.5 or 2 points a game for the remainder of the season, just for fun, just to add to those totals, I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, he's not if he stays a point per game, he's going to finish, 77, 78 points because he missed some time early in the season due to personal reasons. I mean, this is just he's what we've been missing, man. He's the piece. He's that core. He's the guy they're building the team around, and I just absolutely love it. Even if he's not the 1C going forward, there's nothing wrong with having a core, your captain being the second line center. I talked about it last night. Like I almost love that more to a degree. Like obviously having a superstar captain is amazing, but having like a rock, a player who can do both sides of the ice so well, it almost feels like I'm the leader in the locker room, but also leader on the ice because I'm going to do it all for you. It's great having a captain like Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews, and I'm never going to say otherwise, who can just put up a miraculous amount of points. But both those guys get scrutinized for their lack of defensive play. Dylan Larkin is the dog. Like he got to see because he's matured a lot in the locker room. The teammates respect him, and he's not afraid to do it all on the ice. And I love that about Larkin. I love that so much about him. I was down on him last year. But this year has proved me completely wrong. Every little doubt I had about Larkin has been cast out the window, and he just continues to perform.
Maybe it's selfish just because like I want to see it happen. I want him to be 1C when we win Lord Stanley.
Oh, me too.
I don't care.
Me too.
Like I want him to be 1C with a C on his sweater when Stanley gets raised above his head. I want him to be the first person out there to hoist it. I want him to not touch the conference trophy. Like I want it all, baby. Like I want everything that comes with him being captain and 1C. Like I don't. And again, if we get a player who is better than Dylan Larkin, like enough to where Larkin it has to move down to 2C, obviously we're going to take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But I would really like to find a path to where Larkin can just be 1C and we can just
I mean, if he keeps producing at the rate he does, he's gonna create
no,
his
exactly.
own path.
And this season, I think, changed a lot of narratives going forward for this team and for Larkin individually.
It changed my narrative on him. I mean, after last season, and I'll own up to it. I've owned up to it before. I was one of the guys, like he's a second line center on most teams. But this season, he's gone out there and just dashed away. And I always knew he was good defensively. We saw that last year, but his shooting percentage was so paltry that I was like, he's a second line center. He's not any better than that. This season, he's gone out there almost like he knew the narrative the media was spewing out, and he's just like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
People like you, Brian.
People like me. He's got 30 goals on the season for the second time in his career, and he's on pace to shatter his career best. I mean, he's just been the complete package all season long. And I was saying, even if I was saying second line center as a worst case scenario, by no means do I want that. I was just saying that, if he's a second line center on a contending team, that's not a bad deal either. Because that just means you have somebody on first line who's even greater.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah. Any final thoughts on this game? Anything we miss?
Shout out Lindstrom for taking one
yeah.
to the kisser and still just getting pressed up on the bench for a little bit, then going back out on the ice. He's got that dog in him. That's a hell of a move. So shout out to him. But no, I mean, good win, man. I like beating playoff teams. I think, again, if we can end the season with a couple of wins against this really tough end of the season that we have, I think that's good for the team. I think it's good for the fan base. I think it's healthy for the young kids. I think it's good for the organization. I don't see anything wrong with winning as many games as possible from here on out.
No, I completely agree. I also, I do want to give a shout out to Jack Wallman. I just closed out of the hockey stat cards tab, but if you saw it, I think he had second or third best
up
hockey.
there, yeah.
He playing unsheltered minutes with Detroit. His offensive defensive style has shined. I think he had a breakaway in this game at one point, or a one-on-one, something insane. Like he just. Obviously, he needs to be able to play both sides of the ice, but some players are just offensive style defensemen. And he jumps up in the play from the blue line. He's got a wicked slap shot. He continues to impress me. And that's exactly what I was excited for when they traded for Wallman. I was like, I'm kind of excited about this guy. I mean, his micro analytics look really good. And playing sheltered minutes, he's going to get more opportunity. He could be a real asset. Still has yet to get his first career goal with the Red Wings, but he has looked really good on the offensive side of the pocket. I'm just really pumped to see if he can continue to develop.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Scotty, it's that time.
Let's do it. You think it's going to take 50 this time?
Hopefully not.
Over under 25. The
Under.
answer's over.
Move down to 10. That's 1. 2 at 9. 3, 9. 4, 9. 5, 10. 6, 9. 7, 9. 8, 9.
I'm a child. I'm sorry.
10, 10. What did I say? 6, 9. You're ridiculous. 11, 9. 12, 9.
Objectively hilarious.
13, 9. 14, 10. 15, 11. I didn't even know you could drop down that far. Oh,
Hey!
16. Took 16 tries. Looks like I won the bet. What do I win?
You win absolutely nothing.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Sucks.
Buffalo moved up 6 spots in this one, too. Because that's all they need is another top 3 pick.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I can't wait to see them waste that time.
Yeah, right. Can't wait for that dude's career to be donezo.
Yeah, and then he leaves Buffalo and hates it and just is outwardly angry about it. When's Rasmus Dahlin leaving? Got to make room for Owen Powers.
Right, yeah. Probably within the next 2.
Yeah. And this team's not going anywhere.
Buffalo
Wasted
way.
9 years of my career.
The Buffalo way.
The Buffalo
You
way.
think I could pull off just like doing this? Just like holding
Didn't
my mic?
Nolan used to do that? Didn't he used to hold his mic?
I don't think so. Not since me at least.
Yeah.
I'm just like, do you think I could pull this off? Like, hey, blah blah blah.
I mean, if you held it close to your mouth, then yeah, sure.
Am I?
Yeah, no, you sound good there.
All right.
But you can do that all episode?
I don't know if I'd have the. I talk with my hands too much. I don't know if I have the wherewithal to.
No, big word.
I'm a writer, baby.
There it is. All right. On that note, thanks for being Locked On Red Wings, your first listen every single day. We are free and available on all platforms. Now make your second listen Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Hosts Steele Roden and Flip Livingstone help you become the expert of your fantasy league. It's free and available. Free and available. Wow, wherever you get your
Big
podcast.
words.
Big word. I am not a writer. We'll be back with a new episode tomorrow, as we will preview this weekend's games. Same time, same place. See your team every day.
Every day.